Beautiful music today. Welcome, welcome to Unity Fort Worth. I invite you to rise as you feel able, and let's sing together, My Life is in You, Lord.
My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. I will praise you with all of my life. I will praise you with all of my strength, with all of my life, with all of my strength. All of my hope is in you. My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. I will praise you with all of my life. I will praise you with all of my strength, with all of my life, with all of my strength. All of my hope is in you. My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. My life is in you, Lord. My strength is in you, Lord. My hope is in you, Lord. In you, it's in you. In
And thank you, God, for that. All right, let's take this opportunity while we are standing up and say hello to one another. Say hello to someone you know. Say hello to someone you don't know. Say hello to everybody in the back. Howdy.
Howdy. Hey. Oh, I'm saying hi to the camera. Hi.
All right, y'all hug on them teddy bears and give them lots of love today.
Lots of love.
And you're welcome to be seated. We're going to sing our second song, Heart of the Mother. Happy Women's Day.
I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with soul. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with soul.
Good afternoon and welcome to Unity Fort Worth, where our vision is to be a vibrant community, powerfully transforming our world through personal and shared spiritual awakening. I'm Andy and I'm serving as your platform chair today. We're so glad you're here, especially if you're joining us for the first time. Thank you for being part of our community. Today we're wrapping up our series studying the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We hope that you've been using the series hub to read along with us, watching the Sunday messages, journaling, and reflecting on how you can use the agreements in your life, and living the agreements with simple spiritual practices. We're delighted to have Dr. Nancy Little with us. She's guiding us through the fourth agreement, always do your best, but doing so with a spiritual maturity that invites us to be gentle with ourselves and trust the spirit within. Before we hear Nancy's message, let's take a minute for some gratitude with Lane, followed by the word with Nona.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. This thank you comes to you from the past because present day Lane is sitting on the couch recovering from hanging out with a bunch of sixth graders this weekend. But I still wanted to say some thank yous and make sure gratitude flows where it should. First off, I'm so grateful to the people who stepped in during my absence and said yes to making everything flow beautifully today. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, teamwork makes the dream work. It's a phrase I love and use often, partially because it gets my kids to do their chores, but also because a thriving and sustainable community isn't centered around just one person. It's a team effort that happens because people are willing to share their gifts and step into the spirit of shared leadership so that beautiful things can continue to happen while others take a break. I also want to express deep appreciation for our nominating committee. They've been working diligently to find those willing to step into leadership on the board, and thanks to their efforts, we can also be grateful for the 3 awesome individuals who nominated themselves to serve, which says so much about their love for this community. You'll be hearing more about them in the coming weeks as we approach our annual membership meeting on April 12th. And finally, a heartfelt thank you to Larissa and those in the choir. We've been rehearsing for weeks to prepare for our next performance on Sunday, March 15th, and we can't wait to share it with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful to be a part of this community, and I'm looking forward to being with you again next week. Have a great service today and a wonderful week. Love you. Bye.
It left. The word of the day is divine feminine. The affirmation is, I bless the divine feminine in myself and in all others. Let's say that together. I bless the divine feminine in myself and in all others. Today is International Women's Day, a time to celebrate women's achievements across societies and cultures. It is also a time to celebrate the divine feminine, which blesses all people. When I honor the divine feminine, I am recognizing God as love, compassion, and understanding, aspects that are present in everyone. The world is blessed by the contributions of those who embody the divine feminine in their words and actions, from the steeliness of protection to the softness of comfort and nurturance. I give thanks for the girls and women in my life as I lift up and celebrate the divine feminine in its many expressions. I affirm the divine feminine awakens and expands in my heart and blesses and prospers all life. Today's scripture verse is from Proverbs chapter 31, verse 31. Give her a share in the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the city gates. The affirmation again, I bless the divine feminine in myself and in all others. Together. I bless the divine feminine in myself and in all others.
I'm a one-way motorway. I'm the one that drives away, follows you back home. I'm light's shining. I'm a white light, blind and bright, burning off and on. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky to hang the stars upon tonight. I'm a little divided. Do I run or stay and leave it all behind? It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. Time again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. Thank you, Andrew.
Oof, I felt that. We're so blessed. As I mentioned, Dr. Nancy Little is here with us today. She's a frequent speaker at Unity Fort Worth, but just in case you're unfamiliar, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Little. Nancy is a spiritual teacher and mental health professional whose work integrates Unity teachings, psychological insight, and compassionate presence. A former Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute faculty member and author of Energy Sparks to Recharge, Refresh, and Revitalize, she offers Sunday messages, facilitates groups, and workshops that support healing, connection, and spiritual growth. Nancy brings decades of experience in mental health and ministry to her work with Unity communities. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Nancy Little.
Do you like my new condensed version? Those of you that heard my old bio, I shortened it up for you. Yeah, because too much. And I brought this bear friend up so he could be friends with the other bear that's already up here. You know, we need a friend in life, right? It's times like these. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I still am covered with goosebumps from all the beautiful music that we heard to get to this point in this service. It is worth coming just to hear the music. But hopefully, I will add a little icing on the cake for you now. So let's turn inward in prayer as we begin. Divine Presence, we pause in this moment to remember who we truly are. Beyond our successes, our challenges, all the things that run through our lives, we know we carry that sacred essence within us. Help us release those ideas of perfectionism. Help us soften the judgments we carry towards ourselves as well as others. Open our hearts to the truth that our worth is never measured by a single moment, but by the authenticity with which we live. Guide our thoughts this afternoon. May the words I share awaken compassion, wisdom, and courage within you. And may we leave remembering that our heartfelt effort offered with love is always enough. And so it is. Amen. Whew. It's times like these we love and love again, right? We keep our hearts open. And here we go with the very first question of the day. Have you ever replayed a moment or a situation or a circumstance and thought, I should have done better. I should have handled that differently. I see a lot of head nodding going on, which is good because that is certainly my experience. Maybe it was a conversation. Perhaps it was a decision. Maybe you wish you could redo something. I've often thought about this idea of the magic eraser of life, where we wish we could just go back and oops that out or take that one out. But ultimately, we are the sum total of everything that we do, everything that we feel, everything that we experience. And as we build our life experiences, all those combine to manifest as the beautiful person that we are as we continue to evolve. And we're all in process. But sometimes with those redos, we perseverate. It keeps creeping back into our awareness. Maybe nobody else, probably nobody else, remembers or experiences it the way we do. And yet, that begins to shape how we see ourselves. It begins to impact what we tell ourselves about who we are. Because we all know where that most intense critic is in our lives. It's inside of us, right? That inner critic. Correcting, demanding, judging. And maybe it feels as if it's a voice that we heard from somebody else. Maybe a teacher, maybe a parent, maybe a coach, maybe a mentor. But ultimately, we have agreed at some level to continue that voice on repeat in our heads. We want to replay it. We want to make it go through our awareness again as if it could have a different outcome. And in some ways, it can, and we'll get to that. But we like to imagine that version of ourselves that said or did the right thing, the perfect thing, whatever that means. And before we know it, we're judging a whole lot of who we are by one moment in time. right? So let's turn to the 2026 Winter Olympics. You know, I'm a huge sport fan, as some of you have heard, and I am over the top with the fact that it's just right around the corner, March Madness. And that will create a whole nother series of opportunities for us to make this metaphor work. But I'm going to focus on the Winter Olympics. Anybody watch any of it? Or you see the Olympics before? Most of us are pretty much glued to our tube because there's all these heartfelt and heartwarming stories, and we hear these human interest pieces. But we also recognize how predictable life can be. No matter how much we practice, no matter how much we try to control outcomes, nothing is guaranteed, right? And in alpine skiing, and this is no one in particular, I just found this image, but I love it. Look how low she is to the ground, and look at the snow up in the air. That's a critical edge, is it not? It's a fine edge. And they are going at extraordinary speeds, not like my slow little motion down the mountain, which can still feel very fast to me. But these people, these athletes, they spend years training to do this. They invest countless money. Their families invest in their success, in their ability to perform at this level. And they train. They have every turn memorized. You know, Larissa, it looks so effortless what she does, but she's invested decades in perfecting this skill. All of the things that we see that look effortless have a huge investment in them. I could show you pictures of ice dancing, which is one of my favorites. It's so serene and magical and beautiful. But yet one subtle miscue can change everything. It can change what most people look at as the final score on those scorecards. You know, when they sit in that booth shaking and tense and waiting till those scores are revealed. And everybody sees it, right? Then we had this year an extraordinary athlete that nobody can even wrap their mind around how he can do the things he does. I'll call him Ilya. I was going to look it up, but I'm not quite sure how to say his last name. Thank you. Did everybody hear that? He even got the label Quad God, right? Now, there were those that said, well, that's why he didn't perform well, because nobody should be called God. Well, whatever. You know, the critics come from all different points of view, do they not? But he had trained intensely. He had defied the technical limitations of the sport, doing 4 turns. Nobody else in the world could do it. So, of course, the expectation was he's going to bring home a gold for the U.S. men's ice skating team. Because if he's the only one that can do it, he has to prevail, right? That was the thinking. But rather than dazzling the world, some would say he disappointed. Mostly his self, I would imagine. But what happened really, in some ways, is not that surprising to me, because how high were the expectations? I intentionally put clouds on these slides because sometimes that's as high as our expectations are for ourselves and other people. Well, what happened was he fell not just once during his program, he fell multiple times. And does anybody remember what place he came in? 8th. Wow. Somebody else follows it intentionally as well. I know. We cried collectively. Maybe not literally, but metaphorically, our hearts hurt for him. Because who sees it? Not just 1 or 2 people. Like, if I mess up here, you know, all of you all are a witness to it, and also the people online. but not billions of people around the world are glued to the tube and recording it because they're anticipating this historic event. And then the commentators, everybody has something to say about it, right? Their opinion. And it gets replayed over and over and over again. Not these exceptional photographs like that I shared with you, but the falls on the ice. And if it feels hard to me when I fall, I can't imagine how it feels to him when he hits that ice at the speeds and at the heights that he achieves. So the real thing that fascinates me is the courage that it takes to show up in these vulnerable ways. And it may seem like, well, that's what he's been training his whole life for. But in some ways, I've been training my whole life to be right here in front of you right now. You may not know it, but I was the shyest person you can imagine in middle school, even in high school. And at one point in 8th grade English class, I chose to do 2 written reports rather than 1 oral report because I was so terrified to speak in front of my class of about 21 people. And there's more people than that right now in here. I've spoken in front of hundreds of people, but it took training and experience and rethinking and encouragement from others to help me to be here. So all of this ties into the overall message of always do your best. But I'm going to turn just for a second to Lindsey Vonn, because probably no athlete on the U.S. team had more controversy surrounding her because of her decision to compete after she tore her ACL. She determined that she could still do it. She wanted to do it. She was chosen to compete. But her injury did complicate things a bit. But she wanted to earn another medal for the U.S. And honestly, it was probably her last chance because of her age, that she would not return in 4 more years. So the decision became controversial. And others even said, well, she took somebody else's place. We could go over all of that. But then you all know what happened. I'm guessing most of you that she had a very traumatic and consequential fall that resulted in a catastrophic injury. In fact, in reading afterwards, I learned from her own words that there was a critical time that had she not had her own surgeon with her that was able to perform her surgery, she might have lost a leg or a portion of a leg. So then, of course, all the second guessing ensued. Again, what courage it took to put herself in that vulnerable position. And we know, and athletes know this most of all, but one misstep can change everything. I was watching a basketball game the other day, and the basketball player was backing up after a made shot, and he got close to the end line. He stepped on his coach's foot. He backed up too much. His momentum carried him that far. And he got injured on a made shot by stepping on his own coach's foot. He rolled his ankle. Okay, you know how it goes. Little things happen fast, and they have long-term implications. But here's the deal. You know, we look at scorecards, we look at scoreboards, and I am going to be tracking scoreboards. I mean, Russ kind of gets annoyed with me because I'm always checking ESPN and looking at the scores of games. I want to know. I track these scores, and it's coming up to my favorite time of the year to do that. Well, they do record outcomes, and those are final. We're never going to go back and have the end of a game overruled or overturned, even though I have prayed for that, I have wished for that. But what the relevant part of this is for us today is that does not tell the whole story. But some of us judge ourselves the way that spectators judge a game. We take one moment, one mistake, one painful chapter in our lives, and I bet if I did interviews with everybody in this room, all of us would have one painful chapter. Maybe it happened early, maybe it happened in high school, maybe it was later, I don't know. But we all have those times that we allow to shape our identity. I think my necklace is knocking on the mic, so I'm going to twirl it around. Thank you for your patience on that. Because what I want to underscore is that a human life, our lives, are much richer than any single moment, any game that we played in this game of life. So, I probably have another slide or two to tell you. Yeah, scoreboards record outcomes, but they don't tell the whole story. But we are so hard on ourselves. And do you know who we have the most trouble forgiving? Yeah, it's not that ex, it's not that old roommate, it's not our old boss. It's ourselves. So I'm going to tell you a story about a woman that I care about. And she told me once that she was a terrible person. And I don't know if you all have ever used that label on yourself or something like it, but it was so impactful to me to hear this description, because she said that not because she lacks compassion, not because she's not one of the most tenderhearted and kind people I know, but because years ago she made a mistake that had some serious consequences. And those consequences had an impact that led her to label herself in a very harsh way as a terrible person. She sees herself through that one moment, through that one decision, and that one chapter of her life. But when I look at her today, I see something so different. I have a much different perception of the beauty that she brings to the world. I see somebody that has taken responsibility. I see somebody that has faced some difficult truths. It's not easy to be in a relationship with ourselves, is it? It's not easy to do some self-inventory. She's done some deep inner work. You know, we're here as a part of this community because we believe in ongoing spiritual work and growth and development. It's not, this is who I was and this is who I shall ever be. No. She is somebody that's sincerely trying to make improvements and grow into the best person she can be, and she does her best. So that got me reflecting when I heard that. It just really stayed with me. And I thought, this is an example about how we can confuse what we've done with who we are. And I don't know how many of you have some insight into the 12-step programs or chemical dependency programs, but one of my favorite authors, Terry Kellogg, wrote about this years ago. And he coined the phrase, I believe, that too often we are human doings rather than human beings. And that stress and that pressure that we put on ourselves is not healthy. It's a burden. It can feel like heavy boulders that we're carrying around. And so I want to tie this in to always do your best, because when people would tell me that when I was growing up, it felt like a burden to me, because I knew that I was smart at some level. I knew I was capable. And when they'd say, well, just do your best, and I was like, oh my gosh, I always have to do my absolute best in every single moment of every single day. But what if I don't want to stay up half the night rewriting a paper? But I know if I did, I could make my paper better. It really confused me, because I took it way too literally. Because when we look at the fourth agreement, and there it is, I'm going to repeat the subtitle because I think it's important and relevant for us at Unity Fort Worth. It's a practical guide to personal freedom. Don't you love that subtitle? You know, we call ourselves a practical and progressive spiritual community. So this book is really so much wisdom packed in there by Don Miguel Ruiz. So like I said, it can feel like a demand to always do your best, because anybody that is a performer or anybody that's alive actually knows that things change on a day-to-day basis, right? Your best changes with your energy, with your awareness, with your circumstances. If you are bursting with energy, even though you lost an hour's sleep last night, it's going to look different than if you hardly slept at all, or if you're sick, if you're dealing with some sort of illness. When you're calm, your best looks different, right? We are living in very volatile times right now. We are at war. That increases my stress level. Does it anybody else? So doing your best, I finally realized it's not about perfection. It doesn't mean I have to do something over 60 times. It just means that there's this thing called sacred enoughness. Do you like that word? Sacred enoughness. We don't know from day to day how much we're going to be able to invest. You know, Russ and I are in the midst of this still ongoing major remodel. You're probably going to be hearing about this the next time I come to speak too. And I will tell you that my best on any given day is tenuous. You know, it's like I could spend 6 hours on something and get a result that doesn't compare to another time in my life where I spent 2 hours on it. So we know there's those variabilities. So here's the thing, and sacred enoughness means that we are looking at it from spiritual wisdom, through our spiritual eyes, right? We already know that we were born with everything that we need. We have the sacred essence of good, of kindness, of compassion. Yes, we've all been impacted through different life circumstances, but our worth is inherent. That's something that is never a question. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to prove it to our spouse, to our neighbor, to our parents, to our boss, to anybody. So I was provided some pretty harsh standards when I was growing up. My dad really wanted me to succeed. And he came from a family where the highest educational level was 5th grade. He graduated from high school. After he served in Korea, he was able to attend college and law school because of the GI Bill, right? But he wanted me to really utilize the God-given abilities that I had. But sometimes it did come across as criticism, like, oh, you got a B plus. What happened to that A? Anybody hear anything like that? Yeah, so we had to continually prove. Again, spiritual wisdom reminds us that we don't have to prove anything. If we give it our effort, that means it's valuable. Our effort is an expression of our divine essence. And doing your best is never about proving your worth. It's about expressing the worth that's already inside you. We are already such beautiful creations of the divine. Now, sometimes it's easier. I'm going to mention Andy's gorgeous Noah briefly. Now, he didn't get to be here today, and I'm heartbroken because he just has such a lovely energy. Nobody questions that he is innately good, that he is an expression of the divine. I mean, I can look at him and get teary-eyed, or Winnie, or lots of children, my own grandkids. We don't question that so much, but when we get to be adults ourselves and we're looking at other adults, sometimes it can feel a little bit different. So let's think about this. This message by Don Miguel Ruiz is really important, that our best is going to change from moment to moment. And who do we need to give the benefit of the doubt and give all sorts of gentle kindness and compassion to? Well, let's start with ourselves, and then we can extend it out to other people. So this takes practice, right? Just like playing the piano, singing, cooking, driving, all these things take repeated effort and practice. We can practice this as well, being gentle with ourselves. It is such a gift that we will give to ourselves, and then by extension, by those ripple effects, others as well. So Eric Butterworth, one of our esteemed Unity ministers, authors, leaders, writers, he said this. This has been one of my favorite quotes since I first found it. Don't go through life, grow through life. It's not about just getting to the next day, right? It's about actually internalizing some of these lessons, practicing and enriching what you inherently already have, that kindness and compassion. Because we know that who we are today is not who we're going to be, let's just say, at the end of Lent. We'll just use that. I'm going to be here for Easter, by the way. I'll just put a little plug in. So please join us. We'll be all pastel-y or floral-y or whatever, and beautiful. But here's what happens in everyday life. When we get this concept, we just realize that it's not about getting a gold medal, right? I've never won a gold medal. Have any of you? I actually had a friend, a colleague at Unity of Dallas that had actually won a gold medal. And guess what? He wanted to release them because that wasn't part of his identity anymore. Anyway, I digress. We're not going to win gold medals every day because when we do our best, how does it show up? It might show up as listening with kindness and compassion to somebody that has a need to talk, a story to tell. It's showing up in a kind and loving way. Because as our musician said, we really need the love. We really need the love. It may be pausing before reacting when you get a little provoked. And believe me, if you want to recognize that you can still get provoked rather easily, do a massive home remodeling, where at sometimes there are 12 to 15 people in your downstairs doing different things at different times. Yeah, it's a little easy for emotions to run high. But it also does include acknowledging if you make a mistake and then choosing to learn from it, not deflecting, not defending, just say, yeah, I messed up there. You know, and it's easy on some things. If I miss a basket when I'm shooting baskets with my grandkids, I can say, oh, I missed. But it's a little easier to do that than say, oh, I missed on a harder process, something more important. I said something I shouldn't have. I offended somebody. That's harder. Sometimes it just means showing kindness to yourself when you're tired. Like, I'm guessing some of us may need a little snooze this afternoon, right? We might have lost some time. It means honoring your own limits with integrity. Because as a member of a spiritual community, sometimes we're asked to do things that would really push us over the edge in terms of what we can take on at any given moment. And sometimes in our society, in this North American culture, and maybe even Texas culture we live in, doing your best means being available to anybody anytime they need you, and relentless productivity. But the fourth agreement really invites us to be more balanced, to be more self-nurturing and kind. Just bringing your presence to your life every day. Nothing more, nothing less. Because when we approach life with balance and integrity, self-compassion, self-kindness, something really amazing happens. We stop measuring our worth by outcomes. We don't have a measuring stick that we're utilizing. And we also can no longer compare ourselves to other people. I don't know how many of you are on social media, but it can sometimes feel a little bit like a competition. We can stop doing that because we know, we feel, we absorb and express our inherent worth, our inherent value. And that helps us ultimately when we're in a good place and we're taking care of ourselves well. Then I have the bandwidth to show up and be there for other people. When somebody grabs me and says, hey, I really need to talk to somebody. I have a colleague that's dealing with the reoccurrence of a cancer issue. And she said, hey, would you have some time to talk? If I'm overwhelmed, if I haven't been setting healthy boundaries and I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not going to be as inclined to be able to do that. But I was able to say, yeah, sure, give me a call. I have plenty of time. I'm available all evening. So that's what I want to leave you as we begin to wrap up with today, that we're all a work in progress. And you've heard me say this before. If you are living and breathing right now in this moment, you are still in progress. You are still evolving. Thank goodness. We have so much more to learn. I can't tell you how much I've learned in the last month with this project that we've undertaken. Things I didn't even know I needed to know, like about different balusters and how to stagger them appropriately on a staircase. So I am becoming more patient, more wise, more invested in showing up in a loving way. So we are going to conclude by remembering that life has no scoreboard. And I used to even hear this idea, we'll call it, from my grandmother. Like, when I get to heaven, there is kind of a report card, so to speak, of my pluses and my minuses, of my good and my not so good choices. And if I had enough in my favor, then I would get into heaven, right? Anybody hear something along those lines? That's not something that I believe. I never believed it, but it kind of frightened me when I was younger. But now I know that I and you, all of us, we are beautiful spiritual beings living in this world. And there's still going to be times when we stumble, when we don't respond in the way that we wish that we had. Moments when we wish we could try again, but we are not defined by those moments. What defines us is how we get back up, how we try again, how we keep going. And this is true for this larger community too. We are still moving forward, right? We have gone through an evolution. We are not who we were 6 months ago or 5 years ago, for absolute sure. But we are still putting our faith forward and our efforts into building what can truly nurture and support all of us. Our worst moment can never write an ending. It may shape a chapter, but it never gets to write the ending. So let's read these words together, not literally, but this reminder from the incredible Dr. Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. I've included those on your takeaway reflection sheet as well. It's green this time. Make sure you have one. And with that, I want us to move into a time of meditation. So whatever you may have on your lap, just let it go. And gratefully, Larissa begins her beautiful background music to help us move into that heart space, that sacred space where we hear the wisdom of the divine. So I invite you to take a gentle breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And again, allow your body to soften and your mind to become quiet. Open your heart to the wisdom that is seeking your attention today. March 8th, 2026. What do you need to know? Or what do you need to remember about who you are, who you have come here to be, the glorious, unique expression of God that you are? Take a moment and listen in the quiet. With another inhale and release, recognize that whatever wisdom touched your heart in this moment, you can access again. You can continue your reflection, your exploration, and know that you're not seeking perfection. You're seeking expression of the bounty of gifts that you bring and the love that's in your heart. For this, we are grateful. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you in the name and through the power of the indwelling Christ. Amen.
May the blessing of God rest upon you. May His peace abide with you. May His presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessing of God rest upon you. May His peace abide with you. May His presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore.
What a blessing to have Dr. Nancy Little with us today. Please join me in thanking her for being with us and sharing her wisdom. While you enjoy the next song from our amazing music team, we invite you to contribute a love offering in support of our wonderful community. There are multiple ways to give. You can give a recurring or one-time gift online or via text. Or we have a love offering box on a table at the back of the sanctuary if you prefer to use cash or check. In whatever way you choose to share your gifts, we are so grateful for your generosity and support. Please hold them either physically or symbolically over your heart as we bless them and affirm our gifts together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS, told his story to the world till he died. And these are the words he said. He said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ah, 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 for she said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can. This is the gift they gave to us to share wherever we go. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Now I understand what they wanted us to know. You can do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can. Ah, 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 one little boy in Africa, do all you can. Holy Mother in India, do all you can. Be the change you wish to see in the world, do all you can. Do all you can.
We're on the last week of our prayer bear drive, and we have less than 50 bears left to go to reach our goal of donating over 180 bears to Cook Children's Prayer Bear program, providing comfort to children and families staying in the hospital. You can support our service project today by purchasing prayer bears online using the link or the QR code. Thank you for all who contribute. Reverend Eliza will be with us in person next Sunday, March 15th, so we can all bless our prayer bears and prepare them for delivery to Cooks. Our delivery to Cooks is scheduled for Thursday, March 26th, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. We'll share more information next Sunday, but save the date and plan to meet us here in the parking lot at 10:30 a.m. on the 26th. Tonight's the night. Enjoy the wonderful talents of Larissa and friends at the Wedgwood concert at 7 p.m. Let's have Larissa tell us about it.
I always enjoyed so much Nancy's messages. It goes directly to our hearts, I think. Thank you so much. And thank you for mentioning many hours of practicing to get to a certain level. And this is what we do. I can't count how many hours since I was 6 years old, how many hours I spent at the piano. But we got to a certain level, and it gives us opportunity to share the gift of music with our audience. So I invite you to the concert to listen to the beautiful music of Haydn, Debussy, and Max Bruch, with our talented principal cello from Fort Worth Symphony, Alan Steele. And it is at 7 p.m. tonight at San Matthew Lutheran Church, and you can get tickets at the door for cash or checks. So please come and enjoy the music. Thank you.
That's all for today's announcement. It's been such a gift having you with us today. Our prayer chaplain Judy's here to pray with you after service. We invite you to join us for fellowship in the lobby after service, and join us next Sunday at 1 p.m. for a great day with Reverend Eliza blessing our prayer bears, enjoying our choir, and beginning our next series, a 4-week journey towards Easter in which we'll explore Jesus' teachings, awakening the Christ presence within, and living it boldly in the world. Until then, stay safe, be well, and have a wonderful week. Please rise to sing our peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are,
God is, and I